Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having a good start to the morning. I don't know if you guys could see how much DGAS pushed up, but it definitely pushed up a lot more than it was up yesterday. So I'm going to start sharing my screen just so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at, right? Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Can you guys guess, right? It's up almost 10% on the day. Can you guys, it was up 10% on the day. Can you guys guess how much I'm up? Any guesses? Any guesses on how much I am up or down? I think that's a better question. Oh, you guys already know. I was so freaking tired. I have not taken one position during pre-market hours. Yesterday really messed me up, and we had a really productive day yesterday trading, or not just trading, but working altogether with everything that I had to do. So I just wanted to see if I could get you guys to laugh or keep you on your toes, right? But hey, we have now the opportunity to see what is given to us. And yeah, well, let's just give it time. So natural gas has been selling off. It's been trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, been making lower lows and lower highs. One of the things that I do want to point out is it's trying to consolidate. You guys can see that it bounced here, and based off of previous resistance, it sold off, it pushed back up again, it sold off, and then the MACD looks like it's still trying to consolidate around here, so we'll most likely try to see this thing begin to push up. So let's keep a very close eye on this. /CL. Do you guys see a pattern here? Is there a pattern that any of you guys see? This is where it closed at. Hey, what's going on, AJ? Welcome to the team. Do you guys see a pattern here? It almost looks like, in between the middle and top VWAP, low points, high points, low points, high points, low points, and then it makes sense on why it can begin to push up, right? So one of the things that you want to determine is, does it have the potential to actually continue to rally, especially from pre-market to, normal market hours. So you guys can, watch and see if it actually begins to push up. If it becomes overbought and overextended, you could wait for it to consolidate and then get that rejection confirmation, because then when this thing gets rejected, then that means that DWT will then begin to push up. So there's multiple ways that you can approach this. Is this pattern going to continue to fulfill itself? And if it doesn't, then again, or if it does, just wait for it, right? And then once it becomes overbought, once it begins to consolidate, then we can, go into its correlating ETF. So it looks like UGAS is still, or natural gas is still selling off. I thought that it was going to begin to consolidate and begin to push up, but it doesn't look like we're getting that. So IIPR. All right, let's see. Okay. IIPR has been consolidating here. The margin looks like it's MACD. Okay. Looks like it's going to try to continue to push up. So here we go. Still kind of consolidating. Again, there's not a huge, it's not a super clear direction, right? It's not like, it's up here and then it has the potential to come right back down here, right? It's not like it's down here and it has the potential to come back up here. So the direction is not super clear right now, and the margin's not super big. So I'm going to be more patient. I'm going to be more patient for this to either become super oversold or overbought and then potentially get rejected. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's the way that I want to approach it today. Confirmation is key, right? Let's be patient, let's be selective, and let's make sure that we understand that the opportunity needs to present itself. /GC for all my gold traders. It's been looking pretty choppy, right? Ultimately, it is trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, and it is selling off. But yeah, it looks like the middle VWAP or the overall SMA line has been acting as a resistance. So definitely something to keep a very close eye on, or at least to understand the overall direction of. Excuse me, /NQ. /NQ looks like it was beginning to show signs of an uptrend for the better half of the extended hours, and then it began to trade in between the middle and bottom VWAP, and then began to make lower lows and lower highs. So the overall market, in a sense, for NASDAQ, right, will then make sense why it's selling off. So in comparison to like something like Facebook, well, it doesn't look too bad. Wait, /NQ. Based off of yesterday's close, let's see where it's at. Yesterday's close and where it's at right now. I mean, it is down a little bit, so let's check this out. Okay, so yeah, it is down a little bit. Facebook might have another reason on why it began to push up. Let's check this out. Okay. Good morning, second live stream. What's going on, Brandon? What's up, what's up, what's up? Here we go. Natural gas is still selling off. So it's still selling off slowly but surely, right? So again, the more patient we are, the more that it sells off, the more margin for potential recovery that, we have, right? So what's going on, Albert? So yeah, degas is still pushing up, but it's just becoming a little bit too overbought for me. That's just me, right? I just want to wait for a little bit more of a decent or more attractive margin where, natural gas comes down here and then I can ride it back, right? Or if it pushes up, then I can ride degas as this thing then gets rejected. So we got Michael calling out KBE. Trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, and it looks like it's almost doing the same thing today as well. Not enough there for me to feel comfortable trading it. Looking on the 20-day 1 hour chart. For me, and this is just me, the pattern's too inconsistent. There's not a clear understanding of its direction. It's kind of just consolidating. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but that's just my 2 cents, right? Yeah, it looks like it's trying to hold above the SMA line, but right now it is trading below it, and the MACD is still descending while the RSI is still descending. You see that inconsistency aspect? There's not like a super clear pattern that I'm able to see. And also with yesterday's day, middle and bottom VWAP, continuous signs of a sell-off. Definitely not something that I probably want to partake in. Do you get what I mean? Long time, Ricky LP. What's going on, Les White? Yeah, I'm thinking of 1, 2 things, Nathaniel. I'm thinking of waiting for you guys or natural gas to be down here, just like it was before, and then I can ride you guys as it recovers, or just wait for you guys to recover, hit a resistance, and then go into DGAS since that's the ascending uptrend pattern, and then just focus on that because it would make more sense in that aspect. There we go. Natural gas just broke above the EMA line. It looks like it might begin to push up. I just don't know if this margin, right, is going to be attractive enough. This would correlate on over to maybe a little bit under 1.5% before it touches the middle VWAP. Do you get what I mean? It's like, okay, like the direction is not in its favor. It's a descending pattern. The opportunity cost is not really there, but I do see a pattern. So it's like 1 of 3. And I don't know if that's enough for me to feel empowered to take the position when I could rather just wait for this thing to push up, become overextended, and then go with the one that's ascending, get it for a good deal. I see a pattern, and then the direction is in my favor. Again, just it's food for thought. It doesn't mean that either one of them is a good trade. I'm just sharing my thought process on why I think that Diaz in this situation would then be more of a setup for success, right? Because the direction and the pattern is in our favor. So what percentage is your stop loss? Well, I don't have a position, so I've not taken one. But I would like to, for me, when I take one of my trades, if I'm fully invested, keep it anywhere from around 0.5 to 1%. But that's just me, so that's about $500 to $1,000, which is what it would correlate on over to. Because even if I am down $1,000, you guys have seen it multiple times where it will take me 1 or 2 trades, 1 or 2 good trades, to make my money back. So even if I am down like $1,000, like, yeah, when that figure comes about, you're just like, wow, that's a hefty amount. But in correlation to how much it is that I'm trading with and how I trade, we've seen it where I've been down 3K or 4K, and I can slowly begin to recover. I just have to be extremely selective with the trades that I choose to take. So one of the things that I would think about is consider your abilities when it comes down to trading. You think that even if you are down 0.5%, do you think that you could effectively dig your way out of that, right? Or 1% or 1.5, it's up to you, right? There's no right or wrong answer. It's something that you have to determine yourself. Ricky, do you trade with a cash or margin account? So I trade with a margin account. I don't use leverage. I trade ETFs. So first of all, when it comes down to like using borrowed money, that's not with ETFs. They even give you less to borrow money because a lot of the ETFs that I trade are triple X, right? Or triple leverage. But yeah, I don't like. I've never liked the idea of trading with borrowed money or even with like stocks themselves. I just won't. But the reason that I really like the margin account, and again, this is preference, it doesn't mean that you have to like it as well, is I get that instant kind of like feature, right? So like if I trade with 100K and I have 100K in my account, I will have that, right after I buy and sell, I will have that 100K available in comparison to a cash account where, I would have to wait 3 days for that cash to settle. Just think about it. If you're over 25K, right? If you have more than $25,000 in your account, I don't really see the benefit of a cash account because the whole point of being in a cash account is to hope to not be under the PDT rule, which when you have over $25,000, you beat it. So yeah, played UWT perfectly. Had a bad day yesterday, but coming back stronger. Isaac, I like that. I like that mindset. So let's keep it consistent. Oh, there you go. You called it, right? So it began to push up, to become a little bit more on the overextended side, right? So makes sense on why, right? Why? What do you guys think about this? Look at the MACD, look at the RSI. Can it continue to push up? Of course, anything can happen, right? But it makes sense on why it can begin to potentially sell off, right? The more patient that we are for this thing to push up, the more patient or the more margin that we might build for ourselves to pull back. So there's a true pattern here. We talked about it when you guys brought it up to my attention. I just voiced it out for you in this live stream. That hey, it made sense on why this thing could push up. So how that correlates on over to like UWT, right? And there it goes. Look at that push up after confirmation. Not even at buying the dip, but after confirmation, that's about 1.4, 1.5%. I would have locked in profits. Look at the RSI. Look at the MACD. Super simple pattern. The overall direction is in your favor. Very clear entry, very clear exit, and it's then just walking away and moving on to the next trade. Maybe then knowing that it's overbought, and maybe now we can begin to pay attention to the inverse ETF. If the pattern continues to repeat itself, then we can do that. I don't like how these both. Now natural gas is back here, right? So now it's becoming more overextended. I don't know which one has more margin. So, and this one's approaching, there might be a break of pattern here. So this one's right around 1.5% as well. Do you guys see that for Diaz, for the recovery? It's about 1.3, 1.4%, but also for crude oil, right? I'm going to go for... Yeah, I'm going to go for DWT. All right. So I got in with a 30 to 40% position right now. So this is before confirmation because this thing can continue to sell off. And the reason why I decided to choose this one instead of natural gas is because I see there to be a potential change of pattern. And again, this is just my opinion. It means nothing, right? So I still see the potential for this thing to pull back, but we're not really making lower lows here anymore, right? If anything, it didn't go as low as it did before. So I don't know if this thing has the potential to continue to sell off. It might, and it might sell off here. It might continue to make lower lows. It's just something that, I can see that, it was selling off. It sold off quite a bit where now it's consolidating, and now it might begin to try to push up, right? I just don't want to get caught on that. But there it goes. Look, it's getting rejected. So it looks good. So for all those that are in DGAS, it looks good for you as of right now. But don't be afraid to lock in profits. So all right. Right. All right, so I'm up 114 so far. There we go. All right, now we're just going to be waiting for higher highs, right? There we go, /CL. So I'm just going to check the position size on this. Yeah, that's fine. Wait. All right, that's good. Okay, so this is what I'm paying attention to. Ricky, do you have a video on how to set up the TD Ameritrade platform? I do, Ignacio. I'm not too sure if you've completed the course, but I explained that exactly in the course itself. So please, if you guys can do me the biggest favor, I know there's a couple of you that just joined our team. Don't forget that the whole purpose of you joining the Learn Plan Profit team is to complete the course material and then to come in and then ask questions. So be empowered, again, that's the whole point, right? To educate yourself and inform yourself on the different concepts that we talk about. Yeah. How's natural gas looking? Natural gas is still consolidating at the EMA line. So it looks like it's trying to build a support. Very similar to almost what's happening right now. But again, sometimes it does take time for it to fully reverse. So there's nothing wrong with being patient, right? The more patient you are, the better. I don't say the more patient you are, the better. It's the more patient you are, the more comfortable you could feel throughout this entire process. So if you're someone that usually feels very emotional, and very uneasy when they take a position, then it probably makes sense, right, to be extremely selective with your entry point, and why to be extremely patient with just getting that confirmation, so that you're checking off your criteria. But yeah, I'm just looking based off of previous patterns, how something normally begins to consolidate. It consolidates, it begins to touch the EMA line, it'll still almost try to push up, still consolidate. So again, I'm just looking at previous patterns and analyzing it. It'll pull back, it'll push up, consolidate, and then it will sell off and continue and fulfill its pattern. So again, sometimes people try to ask, what is it that I try to look for? When it comes down to getting this form of confirmation, it's always different, but one of the best things that I try to look at is, patterns tend to repeat themselves. Of course, they don't have to, but I could at least analyze previous patterns and maybe try to pick up on some characteristics of how this stock or ETF moves. so I can have a better understanding of what to expect. It doesn't mean that it's gonna, play out like how we plan it to. It just means that it can give us maybe like certain characteristics of how that stock moves to prepare for it. So, Ricky, what do there it goes, and it's still trying to push up. Let's see. There it goes. All right, so we're going to go back to DWT, and we're going to have to watch this one very carefully because, again, it did this last time, but it doesn't mean that it can't break its pattern, right? So that's something that we always have to take into consideration. So a nice push up on /CL. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I'm cutting losses at 5.80. The reason why is, again, I didn't wait for confirmation, and there it goes. So I can always get back in, and there it goes. It looks like it's actually pushing up now, or pushing down. So I cut losses. I should be down. My P&L on my phone said 164. Actually didn't expect it, and there it goes. So that was my fault. 100%. I would have been break even. I actually would have been up for a profit right now. So I'm just gonna have to make this back. Whoa, not that many shares. But again, I'd much rather play it safe and manage my risk than not, right? Especially after last week's of trading. So I'm gonna, and here we go. My goodness. Okay, so looking at /CL, check this out. Yeah, that MACD looks pretty rough. We really need to begin to start making lower lows. That's what I thought we were getting right now. But it doesn't look like we are. And there it goes. How's natural gas? Okay, natural gas is still selling off. Okay, it looks like it's definitely trying to sell off. Can we make lower lows? Again, it can. There it goes. Okay, so this is in our favor. There we go. Okay, now I would feel a little bit more comfortable taking a position. Five, 9, 2. All right, so /CL with that confirmation that now we're making lower lows, but again, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't necessarily have to. You guys could see that it takes time for something like this to sell off. It took a little bit longer, in my opinion, for this one to sell off. So it doesn't even have to sell off as much as it did last time. So again, I'm just trying to point out and play devil's advocate. I'm not trying to just sell this to myself. I'm not just trying to sell it to you. It's that, it can even bounce here, right? Let's say because it just built such a strong support or a support here that it doesn't actually continue to sell off. This is why you have to be very selective with your entry points, and this is why you have to be very careful with, like, if the direction does begin to change, that you lock in profits, right? That you're not afraid to, take action when the direction then maybe begins to turn against you. So just a quick little heads up, right? And then we can kind of go from there. So I'm pretty much at the break even right now. I was down about $300, and now I'm, at around that break even. So that was a little bit of a bummy exit, but again, I'd rather manage my risk than not. And here it goes. Let's check this out. Let's see what happens. Is this going to act as a resistance? Yeah, so DWT has been bouncing off the bottom VWAP. I wouldn't say bottom VWAP, right? I would say more of the middle VWAP area. But right now the direction can begin to change. Again, sometimes it does push up and then continue to sell off. So I would like the EMA line to act as a resistance and then for it to continue this downward pattern. But just because I would want to, let's be honest, that doesn't mean anything. So oh my goodness, this is pretty fun though. I don't know, I liked it. There was kind of like, I don't know about you guys, but I like that, like, even if it doesn't sometimes come out and play out according to plan, we're put to the test every single day to, try to take effective trades. And here we go. Wow. Okay. This was not something that I saw coming. So we'll just have this here, and then we'll have this with a market order just in case. And then I'll watch /CL. And there it goes. It's trying to push up again. Let's see what it does. Like the MACD. Okay, so you're saying that the overall SMA line? Okay, so I can definitely see what it is that you're pointing out. It looks like it has been downtrending, right, for the past 4 days, just like you said. It's kind of almost consolidating around this general area. And it looks like the SMA line can be viewed as a potential support, right? Or, it's at a resistance right now, and then it can continue to sell off, and then it'll break below the SMA line. So one of two things. And there it goes. I'm going to go back to the 1 day, 1 minute chart. Gas has recovered. Natural gas back at that potential support. So looks like that played out according to plan. It just took maybe a little bit longer, but that was at least 1%, right? So not bad, not bad. Federico, yeah. So I do have, again, there's a section in the course, right, that covers it a little bit more in detail. But it's really /CL, /NQ, and /NG, where it's correlating ETFs, in my experience, has a direct correlation to the ETFs, as in like for natural gas is UGAS and DGAS, right? For crude oil, it's UWT and DWT. For /NQ, it's SQQQ and then TQQQ. So what I look for is direction, right? And then I try to focus on that, and then I try to apply that to the previous or to the correlating ETF. So that's my biggest focus. With /GC and JNIG and JDST, I don't see there to be such a big correlation. And when it comes down to like the other ETFs, if they're not exact, it's because JNIG and JDST, I believe, are like minor gold-based ETFs, and /GC is just a gold-based future. So it'll take time, but I would just focus on trying to see the patterns on the future and see if that correlates on over to UWT, and see how it would have been effective to see more of the pattern on the future and kind of go off of that. So I think that could be a very effective approach for you. If you test it out. So again, just like we've said multiple times, you want to test out everything it is that you are watching, and until it works for you, then it can become a working system. If it doesn't work for you, then it might not be for you, right? So do you use level 2 to help you determine the price movement? To an extent, I'm not huge on that. It doesn't mean I've heard of a lot of people using that to be a little bit more effective. Not for myself. I view it more as in like to determine like I can kind of identify something when something's beginning to consolidate because of the amount of buyers or the amount of sellers. Obviously not on the futures themselves, but on like the ETF, and especially with stocks, right? But yeah, I would think that the more you practice that, the more little tips and tricks that you learn, the better off you can be, right? So don't be afraid to practice it, regardless if I find it effective or not. Again, at the end of the day, your goal is not to become a spit-in image of me. It's to become the best version of you, right? And that might be cherry picking a series of things that you find attractive about my trading style, but also cherry picking maybe a couple other things that you learn from either other people or other videos, right? So don't be afraid to be you. At the end of the day, it's not for you to try to copy me, but to be you. So that's a great quote. Oh man, I'm full of quotes today. Full of quotes today. You got this. Oh no, crude oil. Don't be pushing back up. His settings are the same as the course shows. Yep. My overall TOS setup and settings are all the same. Investing in Ricky's quotes, and now I'm greatest quote alive. Oh my goodness, Carlos. Crack me up. All right. I want to give this thing more time. Let's see. Ricky, you should be a motivational speaker. No. I've spoken at a couple of events. I think I've spoken at like 5 events, and there's no one in front of me. I'm looking at a camera, and I feel comfortable. And like if people laugh at me, I don't really see it. I don't know. I'm getting more comfortable with it, but I just wouldn't be as effective as I think. I'm still very awkward in front of people. So, but I appreciate it. Rick, I like cars. I like cars too. Yeah, so any updates on the course? Yeah, so both the Flipping Wheels team and the Learn Plan Profit team, we're still working on fully updating the course. So the Flipping Wheels course, in my opinion, well, it's going to be fully updated by this Sunday. So that one's fully revised, but it's not as much content. But the whole approach that we have with Flipping Wheels has changed, and it's going to be a lot more effective for our members. And again, that updates on this Sunday. So for all those that like cars, we're going to be doing a bunch of challenges. We're going to be trying to help people make, from $1,000 to $1,500 or from $1,500 to $2,000 within the first 30 days or your money back. So we have a lot of exciting things for Flipping Wheels. And then for Learn Plan Profit, it's just going to be that course update and then a restructure as well. But it's that restructure that's taking a little bit longer for us to decide on exactly how to do things. So I really do appreciate your patience. And again, you guys are all going to have access to the Learn Plan Profit update at no charge. It's just the update that we run through the course. Or for those that I don't like in Learn Plan Profit, I'll just triple charge you and then we'll be fine, right? But for those that I do like, then we'll call it even. Kidding. Here we go. It looks like we are getting some form of a reversal. So I'm safe then. Here we go. So again, it's beginning to push up again. It just didn't fulfill its previous pattern. At the end of the day, it looks like that's kind of where it's heading. Maybe already. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Do you only like driving 2-seater cars? No, of course not. The Maserati Ghibli seats 5 people. I don't drive that one very often. We got the boys that drive that one. Yeah, it looks like it bounced here already. Oh, wow, it went a little bit further, and it looks like it's beginning to push up again. So it's not moving as quick. I don't know if it's just me, but is it kind of like slow? I didn't realize it because I'm like trying to have fun with what it is that we're doing right now. But is it just me, or is like the market moving kind of slow? Or at least for the ones that we're trading, like /NQ /CL. Yeah, it just seems like a little slow. I didn't even realize it till like right now. I'm just trying to have so much fun with like you guys and just chatting with you that it didn't even like really make sense right now. But yeah, it's a little slow. Let's see how /NQ is moving. Yeah, I mean, based off of where it was when the market opened and where it's at right now, not a lot of movement. And there it goes, /CL beginning to push up again, right? And that's in favor of /CL. And look at the MACD, look at the RSI. Let's see. I appreciate that. Happy to have you as a part of the team. Glad you're enjoying it. I think we have a lot of fun during these live streams. Usually, I don't want to say I guess every day, right? But usually I try to make this, because trading can be so boring, especially if you're like by yourself. Like no one comes downstairs for like the first, especially yesterday when I was trading pre-market hours, I was downstairs by myself staring at a screen for about 4 hours, and you're just in your head the whole time. So it can be very boring. But that's why, there's nothing wrong with trying to have fun with what you do and spending it with those that, empower you. So that's a way that I try to look at it. Pick a side, pick a side. No, not that side. Yeah, we've been live for quite a bit, right? Should I close it out? We've been live for about 40 minutes. I do apologize for the delay, team. It's /CL. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Wait till I close the position. All right, I'll just sell right now then. Bloop. Kidding. Here we go. A little sell off for the boys. Oh my God. Come on, crude oil. No. Come on. It just froze. Let's go. Lower lows. Can we get some lower lows? Lower lows. Come on. Here we go. No. Right here. Lower lows. For the boys, for the team, for the girls, right? Here we go. Lower lows. Come on. I don't know, team. I don't know about this. Oh. Are we getting it? Oh. Oh my God. Let's go. No. Nope. Looks like it built a support. And there it goes. Whoa, why did my phone freeze? Ah. That was bummy. My phone is frozen. Oh, there it goes. It says reconnect. Thank you, TD Ameritrade. Okay. I didn't do too good. And there it goes. I came back. I was down $350. Now I'm up $150. So I made about $500 on that trade. I sold at 585 based off of previous resistance, but it actually looks like it might continue to sell off, which means that this one might continue to push up. So again, I didn't exit at the best price point. Again, if I really tried to maximize my exit, would have been like 586. At the end of the day, you know, I'm just trying to go with the flow. And yeah, I could have sold with the market order, but I wanted to ensure. And there it goes. There it goes. Thank you. Right after I sell. Right after I sell. What's new? What's new, guys? 586, 587. Can I get a 588 for the team? A 588. Crude oil, can you just sell off a little bit more so the squad can just make a little bit more money? Let's see. Can you break below the middle VWAP? 588? Let's see. Thanks for selling, Ricky. Yeah, I'm sure. Literally, it happens every single time. But again, at the end of the day, and no jokes all aside, right? At the end of the day, lock in profits at any indication of a resistance or when you view something to no longer be a good deal, right? I hope that you guys enjoyed this live stream. I hope some of you guys made money. And most importantly, right, not about the money part, but I hope that you guys learned something new of what it is that we covered today. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I had an absolute blast. I didn't make much, right? But I managed my risk very poorly. No, I feel like I did good. I managed my risk, and if it would have gotten rejected and it would have sold off more and I would have been down $1,000, I did good. I managed it at 0.3%, 0.03, right? So I feel like I did good with that. And my exit made sense. At least it made sense to me. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. Learn something and how to get time. I like that. So having fun, making money, and learning new things. That's what it's all about. So now, what's going on? Now what's going on with /CL? Well, now we're approaching this potential support. Now we just need to be and patient for the overall reversal. So again, it doesn't have to bounce. Just because it's bounced here before, it doesn't mean that it has to. It just means that it can. So let's be patient. Let's be selective. And let's wait for that confirmation. I really do appreciate you guys' time. I'm going to go take a shower, and I need to wake up. So I'm going to go take a cold shower, and then I'll be right back at it. And I'll be catching up on messages. And hopefully I can put forth the effort, my patience, and the confirmation to end the day at 1 to 1.5% growth and just continue the green mindset mentality. That's what we're going to call it. GMM. Wait. It's GMOs that, okay, so no, this is GMM. So there's no acronym that already means GMM. So green mindset, wait, what did I say? Whatever. Okay, you guys have that green mindset. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, I'm done. I apologize. I'm really tired, so okay. All right, green market mentality. I'm done. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. If you guys are new to the Learn Plan Profit team, feel free to send me a direct message just introducing yourself. And I'd love to kind of just keep it under 150 characters because we get a lot of direct messages and I just want to say hello. But again, make someone smile today. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Boom, boom, boom. Take it easy, team. Had fun.